Cool. Sam, talk to me about why you chose this piece.
This piece, it just seemed a bit different and oddball to what you'd shown us previously in the first lectures. As well as like, it's from one of my favourite books. So in that respect, I have a bit of a passion for it. And it's something that I'd like to have seen adapted in my kind of style to the screen. So that's why I chose
Is it from the film as well, or no?
I think it is in the film as well. Yeah, it's done a bit differently though in the film. I said the way we've done it and the way it's done in the film, you couldn't really draw parallels to it apart from the fact I think they're both typing at the same time.
Yeah, what drew you to Vaughn as a performer?
Don't say my hair.
Yeah, don't know, yeah.
Motherfucker.
Well, actually, it was his hair. No, you showed us him last year in Fisher King.
Yeah.
I thought he could bring a real intensity to the role, as well as that, and just the fact he's one of the older actors we've got. I think just worked well. It was just the right person at the right time.
I think there's something else in him, but I mean, for example, Nick, who was just here, is the same sort of age, and he wouldn't have done that way. I think that Vaughn has brought something.
He's got a sort of low-key insanity to him.
I brought the drugs to the scene, man.
Low-key insanity.
It's all real.
Heaps of fucking drugs.
Vaughn, what was it like working with Sam on this piece?
Who?
Sam. Him.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. Fuck off, Hunter. I'm going. I'm out of here. Yeah, fuck off back to his son. Really, really, really good. Sam did everything before I'd even met him, which is the sort of, I kind of go about doing all the research. So I know that when I meet someone to sort of try and create a project, I'm sort of pre-armed with everything, and I know where I want to go and where I want to take it. And Sam Order is just, it's brilliant. So he already had a platform, and it was so thorough. It was so easy just to sort of fit right into that. It really was.
How much of the character work have you done yourself? How much have you brought?
Well, first of all, we started off in the first rehearsal just trying out being manic. And the problem is, this is like the hardest thing to do by a long stretch of the imagination, I think, is trying to hammer it out, but still staying anchored and stop it being really, really messy. So it's still got some kind of content to it, some kind of message, and there's a theme running through it. So this weekend, because of the other stuff I do, this weekend I really started looking at a lot of Hunter S Thompson interviews, stuff he'd written. I looked at his mannerisms, and I agree with Sam. I thought what we were doing was different, and I thought Sam was bringing his style to it. It was almost like in praise of Hunter S Thompson. So what I did yesterday, I started ad-libbing stuff and making notes of what I was doing, and I was putting that in between the script. So he was starting to create like this parallel universe with him in himself, him arguing himself. And like I say, that's kind of something that could be easily developed a lot more.
What do you think the theme of that piece is?
Mayhem. Absolute mayhem.
Sam, what do you think?
I think it's a man looking back at the best time of his life and sort of feeling almost sorry for himself that it's not the way it is anymore, and he just kind of, it's like a man child almost, that he doesn't want to grow up, that he wants to keep staying there in that time of the world.
Which is why the drugs work. It's what people do when they do drugs. Where's the hand thing come from? Was that original or?
Well, yeah.
Watching it originally, I had an eye painted on this hand. So when he's talking about the crest of eye going out, you see the eye, and then it came back in, and that drives him mad, makes him paranoid, this all-seeing eye. And he disappears under the desk and the gun produces. But because we couldn't have the gun in here, I was looking at these stuff, and he actually shot himself, Hunter S Thompson. Yeah. So then it was the thing about the hand, you fucker, you know, yeah, I know what's going on, let's take this nice. And so that was a deliberate ploy of the gun that he eventually shoots himself with.
That's brilliant. I thought that was really inspired. The hand became a character, and you gave it life. That was,
and it got that take got a bit messier because it's generally we upstairs. It was really well orchestrated, and that's what it needed. But again, coming into like a a completely different environment of light, and it kind of changes everything. And it's almost like you're going back to the beginning, and then you start building that momentum.
Yeah.
So I think if we was to do like another 2 or 3 takes, we would really nail that. Especially like there was a whole sketch with the hand. Okay, you fucker, I know what your game is. You want to take over high command. Is that you want to run the ship? Okay. And eventually, obviously, that's the gun that he holds to shoot his brains out. So it does take control of his life.
How was it working with Vaughn? Sam, how did you...
How's it working with him? He's very fun to work with because he brings a lot of ideas to the table which I wouldn't have thought of, and it's fun to sort of workshop with him. We've had a couple of meetings, we've had rehearsals when we went to, and every time we do it, there's just so much we want to do.
Yeah.
And every time it's never the same. We never have the same sort of meeting. It's always different. Ever since the day one that I started working with him, it's evolved so much. And I filmed it every time since, and it's on that drive, and you can see it over time just developing more. And it's not just me; it is a joint effort, and I have Vaughn to thank for that. So,
can I just say, what with doing this monologue, what makes this so different from all the others? You're looking at a character, whereas the others, you're delivering a speech and you've got mannerisms, but it's very one-dimensional, and you're hoping that the costume is going to tell something. Well, with this, you're trying to develop that whole character, you know, the manic behaviour, his ideas, and like just this stream of consciousness, and that is really, really difficult. When I was rehearsing this, even this morning, it really did feel like it was work. It really was more like work than any of the other stuff that I've done, and because it's comedy.
Yeah.
And because you've got this huge flamboyant character that you're trying to bring to life, and it's a huge task.
Yeah.
It really was.
It's really funny.
Oh, good.
Like the hand on the typewriter coming up was good. Talking to these guys was inspiring. Timing was immaculate, so that's tough to do, isn't it? Because as you said, you're manic. You're talking all the time. I don't know how you managed to think and say all that at the same time. It was inspired.
A lot of practice, probably.
I was saying to Sam that when I was running it yesterday, I was literally going around to the shops. Okay, give me some shredded with some milk. You got no milk? Okay, I'll take cream. And I wasn't quite that, but I had this in my mouth, and I was talking down the road to get into that idea of using that. But my thoughts were kind of quite sort of grounded. But then, like that second time, I was saying to Sam, is like, because of the speed and ferocity of the character, it's very hard to dislodge him once he gets going.
Yeah.
It really is. And you rely purely on instinct for everything. And you try to forget about all this. You know, and it's a form of, like, lunacy.
Yes.
I can tell. But still doing it now.
Yeah. You're fucking right, man.
But actually, looking at your picture that you just showed me before, and it does look exactly like this, it's quite inspired, but you have a lot of control. You've taken a lot of control.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see how you develop as a director and what sort of stuff.
That's the one thing what Sam's done. Right from the word go, he knew exactly what he wanted to do. And this was all set. I didn't have to do anything. All I brought the cocaine and the cigarette holder. That was
the costume as well.
And the costume. And that was it. So Sam had done so much groundwork. He knew about the character Hunter S Thompson. He was very passionate about it. That's what you want from a director. You know.
And actually still you were able to bring your performance to it.
Hopefully, yeah. And the thing is, I had written a couple of pages of ad-libs and showed Sam. Sam wanted to cut down, which initially hurts, but 10 minutes later I think, yeah, he's absolutely right. So then we run it again, and I cut some more out. And that Sam come and say, let's just cut that out. Okay, then, cut it out, and it's better. And it's really starting to streamline that. And so you're hitting those points each time, like the thing with the Beach Boys. And fuck, no Lenny Bruce. Well, Lenny Bruce, stand-up comic. And there's this guy saying, shit, got no stand-up comedy. And the man's a fucking walking joke. Do you know what I mean?
Don't underestimate what Vaughn has brought character-wise.
Absolutely.
As a director, you've been well matched, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Thanks very much, guys.
Lovely. Thank you.
Cheers, Joe.
Thank you very much.